Hi, this is Jason Furman again. And in this portion of the video series, we're going to be talking about finger technique. Now, here we're going to be talking about finger technique in regards to match grip. And when you take your sticks in the center of the head, you might want to push out as we turn them in, putting your fingers and your thumbs straight up. This is going to help us isolate the fingers. In timpani playing, this is known as French grip. But here, we're not going to be utilizing the wrist as our primary source of motion, just the fingers. Now, whether you've chosen to use these two fingers or these two fingers as your fulcrum point, when practicing fingers, I suggest that we maintain this as our fulcrum point for practicing purposes. In the beginning, also before utilizing all fingers and fulcrum together, I like to isolate each of these individually to gain strength and find out where our weaknesses lie, which is usually in the smaller fingers that we don't use as often. We want to make sure when we're making these strokes that we're keeping the wrist stable. As usual, make sure everything else is staying relaxed as possible. You're not pulling your arm too far out. This isn't a roll technique, so our wrist or elbows don't need to stay out to keep maintaining the motion. Keep everything relaxed and at your side, and try to feel balance as much as possible. And when you do this, experiment with different combinations of exercises. Besides Jojo Mayer's DVD, I also do suggest book-wise Gary Chafee's book on technique from his pattern series. The very beginning of the book lists several pages of examples for isolating fingers and fulcrum and exercises to complete these. So here, let's do an exercise that I like to do to warm up the fingers, which is 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then back up to 8 again. Isolating fulcrum and all the fingers. And before we do that, look at each one. So, fulcrum, but this stays still. First finger, right? Next finger, next finger, all together. So we want to isolate these first. So here's the exercise. And obviously, repeat this also with your left hand. Now, when you're going to bring all of them in together, as you can see, all fingers come into play. We're never going to be playing something and sit there isolating our fingers. The isolation of fingers is just to try to learn to train all these muscles to, as much as possible, evenly distribute all the energy and stress across as many muscles as possible, making it easier to play. And again, take your time with anything involving speed. Go for accuracy, good sound, and staying relaxed. Speed comes with just hours and hours of practicing. I'd rather have speed that feels comfortable than speed that feels very tense. And that's going to change how I approach my sound. And I always want a smooth, even, clean, open sound. So, feel free to experiment with any of those combinations. It doesn't have to become gymnastics either. Just try to feel what other combinations you can do while staying loose. The whole idea and the whole point is, again, feeling the bounce, making a good sound, and isolating just your fingers. You'll see when we talk about technique, I look at the 3 layers of technique that I talk to my students about in the hands, which we have full strokes, fingers, and then the combination of the two, and a new introduction of motion in the arms, which is molar technique. Now there'll be different combinations of those, but those are the three primary that I teach and I find myself in observation having used. So, now when we're going to put them both together, you can find a varying amount of exercises. That's just one exercise to alternate the two. You can also alternate and use those finger exercises that I gave earlier. And as usual, any questions or comments, please feel free to email me at jasonfurman, jasonfurman1974 and I'd feel free to send you any combinations of these exercises via PDF if you'd like. So good luck, and for those of you that play traditional grip, I'll come back in the next video and show you how we do technique in our left hand for traditional grip.